What is it? It's not a fight, is it? It's
No.
just an argument.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
An argument, but
it's the best.
yeah, we're setting the General Purpose Rake bucket against the heavy duty Land Clearance Rake this morning. So we're going to run through a few differences between them, a few similarities, and a quick comparison basically, and a few extra bits at the end that we'll get to. But well, tine thickness, what are you on that?
Well, my tine thickness on mine, we'll measure, you're looking at about 12mm thickness on the Hardox 450 tines on the General Purpose Rake.
That's just the tine ends, isn't it?
That's the tine ends on that one.
So that's like
that's correct. Yeah.
This here, but
we can come back to that one because that's.
Yeah, you've got a bit more to tell us about that.
Yeah, there's a bit of a story to that one.
Right, so these are for the same machine, same size of excavator, 1 to 1.9 ton machine, both on the Kubota 25 pin setup or JCB. Tine on that is a 25mm, and again, this is a full Hardox tine all the way through, so all of those tines are Hardox 450. The next big difference then is the tine depth.
Yes, yeah, I'll show you on mine then.
So this is the unsupported tine for the ground
correct,
penetration.
Yeah. So the first little bit I'm going to show you is where it starts at the very front there, and you're looking about 70mm to the first weld, and if we go down all the way down to there, and we'll show you that one, you're looking about 110mm. That's the unsupported on that one. And you've got that there. Then we go on to this one.
Well, we're quite a bit more on this because you can see straight off. I'll put the tape in here. Somewhere in the region of about 230mm from the sort of underneath the tie rod to the tip of the tine. And that's really the big thing with these, is they're designed to give you a massive amount of ground penetration. Yeah. So whereas that's more sort of general work, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit more lighter work. You don't be doing too much heavy stuff. I mean, it can take a bit of force, but obviously your Land Clearance Rake is where you want to get the most penetration from, and obviously your general purpose for the general work of the groundwork.
This is going to be less effective at getting small stones out of the ground, but where this really wins is if you're trying to rip big rocks out of the ground, tree stumps, tree roots. You're not wanting to bring the soil out, you just wanted to use some brute force to clear the ground of big objects, then this wins.
Oh yeah.
And that's the big difference with them, that obviously you can get the tines a lot further into the ground because they're thicker and stronger.
Yeah, the penetration on that one, can't they? So yeah.
And then width-wise, what's that running at? Well, same machine.
The gap on this one here is approximately 50mm, but we also do this in a 75mm, and obviously that just depends on what sort of ground you're working on and what sort of material you've got. So the smaller one is mainly so you've got no bricks falling through. If you've got the bigger one, obviously the big bricks will fall through the 75mm. I
guess the bigger is a bit better with clay, wet conditions.
Yeah, basically, that stuff will fall through, and it'll leave obviously all your soil in place, but it'll just take away all your rubble and all your rubbish and stuff like that, really. But yeah,
slightly lighter on budget because you've got fewer tines, so it's a bit less on the cost.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, this setup, the gap on the tines, as you can see in here, is coming in, roughly speaking, 4" or 100mm. We build these rakes in different configurations, so you can, within reason, pick fewer or more tines, and you can also have them slightly narrow as well, because that's the next thing to consider is the general purpose rake's more geared up for sort of just general light sort of duty clearing, low depth, big area. So that's the normal width they're always at, is that width. Whereas this is the widest you'd normally see one of these. Sometimes you'd run one of these, instead of it being, this is 36" across, which is the same as this one. I think yours is 36.
I'll just double check it for you, but yeah, that runs at 36 as well. So yeah, for that machine anyway.
And these, you could easily have a unit that, well, effectively you could drop a couple of these tines off. If you took the outside tines off, you're losing 5" each end, so sort of down to 26".
Yeah.
With that, with 2 fewer tines, so 6 tines, which is another popular config. You can also have 5 tines, and that gives you a bigger gap between the tines. Fewer tines, it's cheaper, but it's also giving you more penetration because you haven't got to push so many tines into the ground. It's losing weight as well. So if you're picking up very heavy stuff, and that's a consideration, then you might want to configure one of these as a slightly narrower width. You might also want to have slightly fewer tines, but these are a bit more flexible in the build.
Yeah.
Breakout force on yours, which we touched on earlier. But
Yes.
you sort of,
Yeah, the breakout force on this one, obviously, it's a little bit less than what the Land Clearance Rake will be. This is more for like clearing, de-stoning, your brash, removing compacted soil. And obviously, when you pick it up, it'll just leave the soil behind and just make it just a bit more easier for you than obviously the Land Clearance like.
I mean, this is not going to do the same thing. You could still use this for that, but
Yeah,
it's not going to
but
be as good at sort of fishing out brambles and weeds and stuff, because it's going to leave a lot behind.
Yeah.
Where this excels is that you can really throw whatever the machine will push at it.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much the way of thinking of these, is they're like a multi-tine ripper. Like you get behind a dozer, you can have a single ripper or you can have a multi-tine, and that's what these are. So
Yeah.
pretty much anything the machine can pull, these will take. So full breakout force with these, whereas you've probably got to be a little bit more careful with the General Purpose Rake.
Yeah, they can say they can take a bit of force, but obviously, like we show you in a moment, a little experiment we did with different machines, and to see how much force they can actually take. We'll come back to that in shortly.
I mean, in fairness, physically that's a lighter attachment, isn't it, than this one?
Oh yeah.
What does it weigh?
Well, this one's about 38 kilos, obviously compared to that one, because obviously you got more tines and.
Yeah. I think at this spec that's about 60 kilograms. So
I think so, something like that. Yeah.
It's quite a physical difference in weight, so it's not
Yeah.
surprising that's a lot stronger.
Yeah.
But then that's also reflected in the price, I guess. I mean, what's
You're
that
looking.
working out at?
I think these are roughly at the moment £414 plus the VAT, which is a win-win for this one. It's a bit more budget friendly, like. Come to the Land Clearance Rake. What's that one?
At that spec, that's 560. So yeah, it's over 100 quid more.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot more Hardox in there, a bit less labour, but a bit more steel. So it's a bit of trade-off. There's a bit more physical labour to make one of those, I think. But
Yes.
in terms of the raw steel, that's a lot more in it, obviously, given the weight.
Yeah.
So what was the deal with this then?
Yeah, we tried this. This was on like a 7-ton mild steel tine that we did, and obviously the force of it just bent it straight round like that.
So that's at 7 tons.
That's 7 ton, yeah.
Okay.
Then we've got the Hardox 450 here, which we did at 14 tons,
Wow.
and that's how it's bent it slightly now, and that's how much force you can really put on these. Like I say, obviously you don't want to go too mad, but you know it can still take the force and just bend it slightly like that. You see?
It's a big old difference, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
You're looking
it's like
at
a 90-degree almost.
there's
isn't
some
it?
deflection, but then
Yeah.
if you put 7 tines through with a mini excavator, 7 tons through a tine,
Yeah.
a mini excavator, you're
Yeah.
going some.
Oh,
so
yeah.
To get to that level of permanent deformation is a lot, whereas that's just folded up, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's just on like a piece of paper almost, and it's
Yeah.
compared to the Hardox 450, like so.
Yeah.
That's why we pride ourselves on what we do with all these attachments. To be fair, like.
And it's reflecting the difference in the steel strengths, because I know
Yeah.
spec-wise they're well over 1200 newton strength.
Yes.
That's sort of, if it's 275, then it's only 275 newton strength, so it's it's a lot less.
It's a massive difference in it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah.
So they're both got their own uses, the attachments. They're both good.
Yeah.
It's up to you to decide which one wins.
Yeah. Take a vote.
Yeah.
There's not a bad attachment really. Just
No.
obviously different purposes for different attachments really.
Yeah, I think so. And it's horses for courses. That is
Yeah.
a general purpose tool, as is denoted by its name, and it's going to have a lot more applications than one of these. But for the jobs where you need one of these, then there's no substitute.
And that's definitely right. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah.
And both running Hardox. Obviously, in this one, the tine length at the bottom is the Hardox part, whereas that is full Hardox. But they're both using the same material.
Yeah. Exactly. That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's no losers, but it just comes down to your application. Hopefully that's given people a bit more of a thought process to selecting them.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Without us fighting as well.
Yeah. That'll be off camera later.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, thank
Catch you on the
very
next
much.
one.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Cheers for watching.
That's not a rake. This is a rake.